Hello, everybody. This is Peter Palmiotti, and today I'm joined with Scott Payne. We'll be interviewing him about his comic. Oh, and today I'm joined with Scott. Is that my fault? We'll be interviewing. Yes, it
Feel
is.
like an echo
About
effect.
his comic. Oh,
Everybody.
okay. There we go. Yes, it is.
Feel like an echo effect.
Do you have your YouTube window open?
I'm getting like a delay,
Do you have
and
your
there's what was that?
YouTube window open?
Into Oh, is
Yeah.
that better?
Okay. I muted you. If you have the YouTube link window open, then just pause that, and then I'll unmute you, or you may have to unmute yourself. Sorry, everybody watching this live. It's always technical issues. uh, okay, so to unmute, put the cursor on the Google Hangout screen and hit the microphone, which, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, there. And then go back to the Indiegogo page
Right.
so people could see
There we
that.
go.
All right.
Okay.
All right. We'll get this straight, folks.
Sorry about
Um,
that. Funny
so
process.
I don't know why my camera's not working, but it
Huh.
doesn't matter. Um, Hello, everybody. It's been a while since I've done an interview. I've done plenty on my YouTube channel. I used to do a podcast, Independent Road, years ago, and before that, I was part of a radio show. Um, so I figured I'd get back into it. Oh, and now it's coming up backwards. I don't know, on my screen. Maybe not the other
That's weird.
screen. Yeah, I'll double check that. Uh, Campaign. Will be into. Oh, okay. It's right on the YouTube page, so
Hmm.
it's just for us. Um, yeah, and yeah, if you want to see me do a lot more interviews upcoming, you can support me on my Patreon page. It's patreon.com/Peter Palmiotti. I'm pretty much Peter Palmiotti everywhere. Um, so yeah, I have a Facebook group called Create Our Own, and it's for independent comic makers. And Scott has been posting artwork to his project for months and months.
Yeah.
And I'll click on that so you can see his Indiegogo page for Chaotic Flux, Issue 1, Aliens vs. Monsters, Part 1. So give us a description of your comic right off the bat, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, it's complex, but okay. So, the overall synopsis of it is about this kind of super team that okay. So it takes place in the future, and mankind is on the verge of extinction due to all kinds of environmental issues and lack of food and wars. And there was even an alien invasion that happened about 19 years before the story begins that pushed mankind to where billions of people were lost. There's only like a few million people left in the world at the time. And to kind of curve uh, starvation throughout the world, because there is a major lack of food, they begin to experiment with gene splicing and splicing animals together, their DNA to kind of create a life form that would become a sustainable food or a food source for them. And they wanted to make something that can reproduce quickly and but also provide lots of nutrients, proteins, and what have you that people need. But through all this experimenting and splicing different things together, they ended up accidentally creating this horrific thing that would rapidly produce, but had an insatiable appetite for feeding, for eating. And when they eat, they rapidly break down their food inside their body, and then they can use that to manipulate their own body to do different things, to mutate, so to speak. So they get out of control, and there's like thousands of these things. They also reproduce very quickly. They actually reproduce by a form of kind of regurgitation. They eat something, break it down, clone itself, and then regurgitate the offspring, or really it's a clone, but an offspring that will rapidly grow, and then they spread that way. And so it's about this team that comes together. There is an exosuit pilot. There is a hybrid alien girl named Zathara. There is a large mecha that can transform named Strife. There's other characters that come in later, but those three are in the first issue. There's a total of 6 main heroes, though, that form as the series goes on. And they form a team called Crimson Flame, and they represent the last hope for humanity. There's also a dark entity called Malachar that comes in the story later on. He's extremely powerful, and he's actually made up of all the hatred of mankind throughout our time in existence. And the only way for him to interact with our plane of reality is to embody someone and kind of possess them to interact with our realm. He hates his own existence. He wants to wipe himself out, but he can't. He's immortal. But he thinks because human life, the hatred of human life has created him and feeds his existence, that if he wipes us all out, then he can finally be at peace and end his own existence.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Yeah, I know it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot.
So why is the comic called Chaotic Flux? Is just
Chaotic Flux is a kind of all-around representation of the story that this kind of chaotic events that have happened or happening in the world that creates an imbalance of life, to where everything is just falling into chaos. Both from the Dread Fiends, which are the creatures I was talking about. I think I forgot to mention earlier. They're dubbed Dread Fiends in the story, and then representation of the Malachar and his just ripping down of life. That there is no more really a balance of a peace and happiness in the world, and our heroes are fighting to end all of this, to bring that balance back, so that humanity can be something again other than constantly in fear and fighting for their lives.
Right. So how many pages will the book be?
The first issue is 26 pages. There's going to be 28 total. There's I did 26 pages, and then I found out later that it had to be 28 for print. So the last 2 pages were going to be some synopsis, or I mean like little bios of the creators, myself and the other artists. And then also there'll be some making of art in there. So,
cool. Do you want to see if you can scroll down and go over the pledge levels?
Sure.
Yeah.
So first one, you can just donate $2 if you like, or any amount really, but $2 is like the minimum I set for. If you're not really into comics, but you think this project's pretty neat, or if you just if you just want to support, indie comics or comics like this, or just stories like this, I gave that option to those. Or if you just don't have the, means of time to buy any of the higher price things. And then $5 for the digital. Let's see, $10 for the actual printed comic, and then you got 15 for a signed copy. And then I am doing metallic covers. Those were real big in the 90s, and you can still see them now and then. I think the Batman Metal series had done some metal covers, if not at least one, if I remember right. And I'm a big fan of metallic covers, and I would like to see them come back. So I really want to do a metallic cover for this book, so I decided to put that together. And then there's a metallic signed edition. So for those who do, like myself, like the metallic covers, that's available there for you. The deluxe pack. I'm trying to remember what the deluxe pack was. Let's see. So deluxe pack, you get the digital version, you get a signed print. I'm also doing trading cards. There's will be 2 trading cards, one of Zathara and one of the Dread Fiends. And I'm gonna do them in the style of like the 90s comic book trading cards. So you'll have the art of the character in the front with some graphic of their name, and then I'll probably have FLUX on it as well. And on the back, I'm gonna do stats for the characters. Kind of like how the Marvel 90s cards were, where you'll have like energy projection, intelligence level, and all this. And then also a little description of the character. And these are going to be part of a series. Every issue I do, I'm going to do about 2 cards. I'm not sure how many cards will be in total. I think it depends on how many major characters there will be throughout the time of the life of the series. But there will be a set that you can collect. And then there's also going to be an art print that's also in this package. The art print, actually, you see here this picture on the left of the team jumping. I think that's going to be an art print. I haven't decided if that's going to be a metallic or not, but I think that actually might be the metallic one, because I am doing a metallic print as well. And the art prints are going to be 10 by 11. And the other art print, I think I was going to do, I'm trying to remember.
If somebody gets the print, I'm just curious. I've heard of campaigns where they would fold the print that big, like it's bigger than the comics. So that's your plan?
No, I'm actually trying not to fold them. I know I myself personally, I don't like folded art prints, or posters, anything like that. So it will definitely come unfolded and in a nice envelope, kind of packaging, a padded envelope,
cool
kind of thing. So you don't have to worry about that. And then there was the both covers where you can get both the metallic and the original cover, both signed, and the PDF or the digital version. And then the metallic deluxe. So this one comes with PDF, the metallic cover, the metallic print, and both in metallic versions of the trading cards. I'm doing, I think, I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but I'm doing both regular version of the trading cards and then metallic prints. And then there's a collector's pack. Let's see, that's digital, original cover, metallic cover, both trading cards, and what? Oh, there it goes. I didn't mean to do that. Go back. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Come on. There it goes. Oh, the collector's pack, right? That was on. There we go. Yeah. No, stop it.
People can go to the page and
yeah.
You can only list so many items or something.
Yeah, well, I think I have to hover over it. Let's see.
Where
was I at? Let me try it one more time.
There you go.
Click once. Go down. Come on, computer. Stop highlighting. Over the okay. So it also comes with the art print, the trading card, and the metallic art prints. So basically everything, except for this one doesn't come with a T-shirt. Those are the. I guess this one comes. No, that's because so this is for retailers, so people who own comic book shops, or if they just want to, if they're like a heavy collector and they want to get 10 issues all at once, they can do that. Or like I said, for comic book shops that want to sell in bulk. Also a 20 issue version of that. And then this is the All Out Chaos. Wait, did I already do the regular All Out Chaos? That's weird. I have to correct that. Anyway, so there's supposed to be an All Out Chaos package. No, was that it? I'm sorry. I got it on there twice. I should have fixed that. That's actually not supposed to be like that. So this one, there's an All Out Chaos package, and it actually has the PDF, the signed both covers, the signed metallic or cover, and then the trading cards and both art prints, and a T-shirt. So everything above plus a T-shirt. Man, I really wish that wasn't on there right now.
I think there was
anyway,
one.
So then the squared version is all of that, but twice. So if you want to get two packages of that, you can. But that one there that's also squared, that's supposed to be just All Out Chaos with one version or one of all of that.
Right. I think I saw at the very beginning before your $2 pledge. There was
there it is.
$75. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So that's like a feature.
That correction. Yeah. You're right. I forgot that they take the feature and they put it up top.
Yeah.
And they take it down from below. So I guess that's what happened.
I've seen that on other campaigns, and it's a little confusing, but
yeah.
It's like your lowest pledge is $75. What?
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
But so you got a lot of goodies.
Yeah, I gave lots of options, lots of choices for people. I try to, get lower end, easy to pick up stuff, and then also the more collectors, if you want to go out kind of packages. It's kind of hard to judge, how much people are going to be, dedicated and how much money they're willing to put towards your project. But, try to guess as best you can.
Yeah. So we got a couple of people watching. Marv Artwork says there are so many great comics on Indiegogo, but the shipping to Europe is sick. Many artists can sell very well, but this is a big problem. I love physical books, but the shipping to Portugal is $25.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's expensive.
When we did our research on, because my wife and I went out and went to UPS, we went to FedEx, we went to the post office, U.S. Post Office, and we asked, what are the prices going to be like? How can I ship internationally? And there's not really a whole lot around that as far as it's going to be at least $20 or so just for the shipping. And the nice thing about it is, though, that's like a set price for just about anywhere internationally. So it doesn't really quite matter how far you ship out, but there's still that flat $20 is, it's rough.
Did I lose you?
They just won't give you anything less than that as far as being able to ship it out.
You dropped out for a second. No worries. I always thought, and this is a side, but I always thought, well, why not just print in the UK or something and then ship from there?
Actually, I'm considering doing that in the future. Doing what they call on-demand printing.
Yeah.
But they even still with that, I think there's still probably going to be some shipping involved because you still have to ship it to, your home from wherever the company is that prints it. So
yeah.
I think it's just hard to get around shipping, especially internationally.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So, if anybody has any questions that are watching this live, feel free to put them into the chat there. So we have Ronnie, Mario, otherwise known as Marv, and Abe are hanging out with us. So
Hello, guys.
thanks for coming around.
No worries.
Makes me wish I had a secret credit card, says Abe. Yep. There's so many great projects, and
Oh, yeah. It's
you
really neat
know,
seeing, all these guys come out and or girls and bring their projects to life. And I mean, it's not easy, but it's doable. It's
yeah.
totally doable.
So I mean, as far as Indiegogo, this is listed as your first campaign.
Hmm.
Is this your first comic that you've
Actually, yeah.
created?
Yep. Yep. First comic.
Okay, cool. So you're learning the ropes as you go,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
do you have a vast library of knowledge?
Well, I've been kind of lucky. I've had a lot of people that are, pretty supportive, and I've had a lot of people that have had experience that have come forward and given me tips and pointing me in certain directions. And then I also have friends and family that are um, willing to help figure things out for me as well. Especially my wife, she's done a lot of research and looking into different things. Um, and then I got a couple friends that are, I guess, quote unquote, assistants that are helping me uh, with some of this as well. Um, I don't know. I don't say other than just get out there and see what happens, because and make connections, and networking is very important.
Yeah,
Find people that are interested, find people that understand where you're coming from, and that want to help you make your thing happen.
well, it specifically like with your project, if you scroll up, people can see. But you're trying to go for 6,000.
Mhm.
You, I believe you currently have 41 days left,
Mhm.
um, and it's at 80 something dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have a long way to go,
A
but I
long way, yeah.
mean,
That's the thing that's a new thing I'm learning now, is how to, get it noticed and get people interested. And I thought I had done really well with social media. I had a lot of people that acted like they were interested and want to get the book on. I have a lot of people that follow me on Facebook and Instagram and even some on Twitter, but I don't know if they're just waiting till it's closer to the deadline, or I don't know. But so I'm trying different ways of right now experimenting with getting the word out more beyond
well,
just social media.
I never hosted a campaign myself. I've
Mhm.
sort of collaborated, and helped campaigns. But my experience is like the first day is where people knock it out of the park.
Mhm.
And people perhaps going on your campaign page and see you're only at $81. It's like,
Mhm.
I don't know if it's going to even make it
Yeah,
or go anywhere.
yeah, I think that's good.
So at this point in time, um, it's probably a tough sell, but
Mhm.
that doesn't mean, it can't
Well,
happen.
yeah, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna give up on it. That's for sure.
Yeah,
If this doesn't work out, then I'm still gonna print. I think I'm printing 1,250 copies,
cool.
and I might try another crowdfund after that. Maybe even try Kickstarter instead of Indiegogo. I'm not sure, but if anything, I'm going to be going to Comic Cons and comic shops and spreading it that way. I've already got comic shops in the area that said they want to carry it, so that's something that's nice.
Yeah.
But then definitely hitting up cons and going all over promoting it that way.
So, you talk about within the campaign days, like you're going to be at conventions.
Within the campaign days, I
Yeah,
don't
like before it
know.
runs
I it
out.
depends on. I'm gonna try to see if there's a con coming up that maybe I can go to, but most of them seem to be coming up after March or around March, and the
Yeah.
campaign ends like the beginning. That's like the 7th of March. So
Okay.
we'll see. I have to do some looking around. Uh, and then I was going to say that of course I'll end up selling it digitally after the campaign as well. Probably I'll put it on Comixology and and some of the other digital outlets. But it's just all the stuff, a lot of the stuff that here during the campaign, it will end with the campaign. So this is the last time this is the only time I'm offering the metallic covers, the metallic cards, the metallic art prints, also the other art print as well.
There is an option with Indiegogo, which I've learned of, called In Demand. It's sort of an Indiegogo store,
Right.
so it keeps your campaign
Well,
open.
that actually I found out you have to earn that.
You have to earn that.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
okay.
have to hit a certain mark on.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
I think you have to meet your goal and go and start going beyond, if I remember right, and
Ah,
then you qualify for being in demand. That's kind of why they call it in demand, is because
it
there's
is.
enough people that are interested that they want more or possibly want more. So Indiegogo offers that
Oh,
ability for you to keep your stuff up and keep selling.
hey, keep learning stuff. That's good.
Yeah.
ah, I didn't know that about that.
Mhm.
Well, cool. Let's check the chat really quick. See what's going on in there. Um, oh, okay. Don't know if you talked about it, but how did the idea for the come about for this comic? Okay,
Yeah.
so
Well,
you can take that.
so I've always wanted to create a comic. Well, I guess not always. It kind of came to me maybe, I want to say 19, 18 or 19 years ago. Um, well, I first started creating the idea for a comic in 2008. No, not 2008. I'm sorry. What was it? 20 years ago was when I started creating the idea for a comic at all. And I really wanted to do a kind of team comic. But at first, it was just kind of like, I was really into X-Men and what is it, the Avengers, and I was like, I wanted to make something kind of like that, but I wanted to. I tried to see if I can come up with an original idea, and it got kind of good. But then I was like, it got to a point where I was really starting to come up with great ideas, but I was coming up with ideas that normally don't go together, like fantasy with science fiction and horror, and like extreme kind of I guess adult situations and things like that. So I was like, well, can I make a comic that encompasses all of these things and it work properly, to where it all makes sense and all connects in the right way, kind of like a wild jigsaw puzzle to put together. And it took time for me to make the connections, but eventually I was able to. And then so come to today where I now have this radical kind of comic book with all these different elements, with a transforming robot and a guy in a crazy exosuit that has all kinds of weaponry, and a hybrid alien girl that can make crystallized blades for weaponry, and then there's a couple of sorcerers in the storyline as well, or mages, but they're really kind of like summoners. They summon magic from this other plane of reality into our reality to use it. That's kind of how I explain how magic even can exist in our plane of reality. But they come later in the storyline, and then there's a giant 8 foot tall swordsman with a double bladed 8 foot sword that can transform. So all these crazy. I mean, you have the monsters, the dread fiends, and then you got the. So it was just kind of like this want to combine all these radical things to create this insane saga, sci-fi horror fantasy saga, influenced by X-Men and the Avengers and Game of Thrones and all kinds of different things.
Yeah, I can totally
So
see that. I mean, it's like, I've just been impressed on the artwork I've seen,
uh,
and what I can gather of the story from the pitches and all that.
mhm.
Um, do you want to scroll down and maybe pimp the team that's working on this?
Oh yeah, sure,
Because the
definitely.
art is phenomenal and the coloring
There's the
is
cover.
awesome, and
The covers
it's
are all good.
all really really good.
There's my team. There they are. Okay.
Eh,
So yeah, I was really lucky to find this guy Brian Belando. He's actually from the Philippines, and he's still an up and coming artist, but he's definitely starting to get known, and a lot of people have started taking notice with him with this comic since he did such a phenomenal job. I mean, that right there with her facing off against the Dread Fiends in the Lightning Storm, it's just, I don't know. It's just crazy how how good he puts all this together. It was, I mean, I'm really impressed with him being able to take these images out of my mind and then put them on paper so well. He, I kind of give him, a basic idea of what I have in mind for the character. I also will find things online that are kind of similar to what I want, and I'll give him several pictures of different things and say, okay, this is kind of what I'm going for. And he takes that, mushes it all together, and basically throws it in the blender and comes out with something totally, awesome looking and pretty original. But also very much based on what I saw in my head. And he's done a few indie comics like that have here Starborn listed and Rising Sun. He recently did that one. He was actually finishing up that one when he was started working on Chaotic Flux.
Who's the publishers on his books? Do you know?
I'm not sure. So
It's
they're
out
all
in the
foreign. Yeah, because he's from the
yeah.
Philippines. So most of his
Right.
work
Okay.
is foreign publishing publishers and what have you. I
Okay.
don't think there's any. He's gotten any American publishers yet. But his artwork has been compared to, like, they say he should be like in Marvel or DC. That it's, and I think I agree. It's pretty phenomenal. And I
Yeah.
was
Most.
lucky to find him. And he's not like, he wasn't, as good as his artwork is. He didn't break me as far as money wise. So that was nice too. And Brian Arfel McNahee, if I can say his name right. Well, I would say Brian McNahee. I like saying it that way, the middle name. But anyway, Arfel McNahee. Um, again, his colors. I mean, he just has this beautiful knack for finding the right coloring. I mean, the right lighting effect, and I just love how he did her eyes there. I mean, it's just phenomenal that
Yeah.
he makes the art pop. He definitely makes the art pop, and he gives it this kind of 3D effect, I think, with the coloring.
I love that it's so. A lot of comics you look at, all the colors are bland,
Mm.
and he really uses a lot of. It feels like a lot of primary colors
Mhm.
and just like very not loud. I don't know what the words are, but
Just
I just love his work.
right. I think it's like a really good balance. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gives a lot of depth.
Yep.
And then and he's also from the Philippines, and not too well known yet, but he's getting there, I think. He actually did the coloring that you see there for Ravage, which was a really successful Indiegogo comic not too long ago. I
Cool.
believe they're doing a new issue now. Um, and no, that's not what it was. They went from, so they did the Indiegogo. Now the comic is in stores, comic book shops, and they did a new cover that he recently helped make. That's
Cool.
out now. So, yeah.
I
And then
see.
Matt Bowers. Oh, sorry.
He's also worked on a bunch of books I know of, the Mighty
Yeah,
Titan
yeah,
and Water
yeah.
to Independence.
Hmm.
I'm not sure what Rising Sun is, but it's
Yeah,
another book he
Rising
worked
Sun is, again, it's something that Brian Belando
on. Oh,
also
okay.
did,
Yeah, there
and
you go.
so it's
They
one of
work
those.
together.
Yeah, yeah, they've actually done quite a few. They're good friends in real life as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that was pretty neat. Okay, so Brian Belando, when I found him, he offered if I Brian Menai as a colorist, and he told me that he had worked on things. They had worked on things together, and they were good friends. And I looked at, they showed me artwork that they had done together, and I thought they worked really well together as a team. So I really liked the idea of getting these two together on my comic, and so that's kind of how that went. Um, and then Matt Bowers, he's actually been a letterer for quite some time. You can see there in 2015, he started as the primary letterer for Short Fuse Media. And I think, if I'm right, he's still with them. Uh,
I've heard his
and
name
he's done
around.
quite a few comics. Yeah.
I'm not sure where I've seen his work, but I know the name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he actually makes his own comic called Memphis that he's been I think he's on like
Oh, okay,
the third issue now. Yeah, he's been working on that for a while.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, as far as you creating a comic and writing it, um, you know, why why should people pick it up for your work?
Um, I really okay. So it kind of stems from this dream of, like I said, or mentioned earlier, of creating this comic book that smashes all of these kind of genres together and ultimately creates something very, in my opinion, very different and pretty original compared to a lot of things that might have a few genres mixed together, but not so many as this. But um, and I want people that really like highly creative comic books and highly creative ideas to latch onto the story, and people who want a story that is emotional and has great character growth and development as well as story development, that takes you in new directions and new places that you know haven't gone before or may not have gone before, at least not as often. Um, and just a really highly creative comic book that I want to share with the world. I'm a big fan of highly creative things. I look for highly creative things, and I hope that there's other people out there like me that crave this kind of stuff. And FLUX is my offering to the world, as something that I believe in is highly creative. And so far, I think a lot of people seem to agree.
I love the mesh of the genres and the
Hmm.
different characters and their abilities and whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, we do you think people will think it's a good read as well?
Yes,
You know,
actually,
like the
I've gotten really good feedback on
yeah,
the story as I've had some reviews done.
cool
I think it was what was that one called? Um, I can't remember the name of that. It'll come to me. Anyway,
website.
yeah, it's a comic book website. Nerd Network, Nerd something network.
Okay, that sounds familiar.
No, that's not where it is. Hang
No.
on, that's gonna drive me crazy. But they gave it an 8.8 out of 10 and said it was interesting and fantastic read. And there was another or what was that one called? I've only gotten good reviews on it so far. So I mean, but I know it's just a matter of their opinion. So, but the feedback I've gotten so far has been pretty positive. Um, and I mean, definitely myself as a new writer. You know, I'm of course learning all the time, new ways of writing and developing my skill. But I was actually pretty surprised. Not that I'm not trying to, uh, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not trying
Post.
to talk about myself here, but you know, I was surprised by how well I wrote the first script in the first issue, considering you know I'd never done it before. But I think part of it is just kind of how much heart I put into the characters and the storyline. That I really, really, really do want it to be good, and I really, really want it to be a quality piece of work. Um, that maybe that's why I did so well writing it for someone who's never written a comic before, but I don't know.
I
I was very nervous sending it out to reviewers, like, oh, they're gonna hate it, you know. But so far, you know, so good. So,
that's excellent.
yeah.
So you mentioned like books, but
Uh-huh.
who are your like writing influences?
Oh, Well, I really like Jim Lee. Well, no, he's more of an artist, but he does write some. Let's see. Mark Millar. Yeah, he's a big influence on me.
Okay,
Yeah, Mark Millar
he's
and
great.
Stan Lee. He's always, in the back of my mind when I'm writing. As far as like, creating interesting characters that you can feel something for and you can relate to. Um, let's see who else is Frank Miller. He's a big influence too.
Yeah, excellent.
And I'm sure there's other
So
ones, but those are the three off the top of my head I think about the most.
let's see. The only other comment in the chat, so true for any kind of comic creator, traditional, digital. We have to form a connection to our audience. Well, you mentioned, as far as social media goes, that you're getting positive feedback and
Yeah.
people saying they like it, and um, it's only a matter of turning it into dollars, um, which is always tough. But
Mhm.
you really have to put yourself out there, which is why it's like. I saw your post and I saw you went live, and I wanted to get the word out to people myself. And
Mhm.
it's like when I get paid next, I'll put in my books as well. Um, I really want to see this project succeed and go beyond its goal.
Mhm.
So if you're watching this, go click the link. It's in the description box below the video. It's also, I put it into my last video. I shared it on Twitter and Facebook and whatnot. Um, so yeah, go check out this project. The video is actually pretty cool too. It's did you make the video for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
campaign?
Hmm.
Yeah, that was fun.
Thanks.
Um, lots of comic videos like trailers are boring.
Yeah. Yeah. I really don't want to. Yeah, I wanted to make one that just kind of grabs you and then pulls you along. Actually, the story of the comic itself definitely has that structure to it. The idea that catches you from the beginning and then pulls you all the way through the story with the action and the events that unfold. That's
Yeah.
kind of the basic main idea I wanted with this comic book is it just grabs you and keeps you going.
It's definitely a gorgeous book, and I'm excited to get a chance to sit down and read it as well.
Mhm.
Um, I guess, is there any last words that you want to pitch to the audience?
Uh, well, I just hope that a lot of people like this comic. I'm really trying hard to make it something memorable and exciting and fun. Also, maybe a little shocking. Um, and please support it. Please um, help it grow. I really don't want this comic book to just fade away. And not just because it's my comic and I created it, but like I said, because I really believe in this story and I think it's really interesting and worth sharing with everyone out there. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
so people can share the campaign and share this video
yes,
and,
please, please share, 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 share. Get that
go.
word out, please, please get that word out. I need more,
So,
more
uh,
people to see this and react to it.
besides the Indiegogo page, where can people find you online?
I'm also at Facebook.com/Sharp Edge Comics. That's the name of my production company that
Right?
I put together. Also, I have a website, sharpedgecomics.com. There's a lot more artwork. There's even a 10-page preview of the comic there on the website.
Very cool. Well,
Mhm.
if you watch this video all the way to the end, you know that, and you can go read the first 10 pages.
Right.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Scott. I
You're very
wish you
welcome.
the best of
Thanks
luck.
for having me on. I mean, it was really cool that you did this, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a dynamite looking book,
Thank you.
and I love the diverse characters in it,
Mhm.
and yeah, exciting stuff.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right. Take care, everybody. See
Bye,
you
everybody. Take
again
care.
next time. Go buy it.
Please, bye.